This story is brought to us from the WashingtonPost.com. Remember the story of Randy Cox from this last June, June of this year, where he was the guy that was handcuffed in the back of the van with no seatbelt? Remember, and they slammed their brakes, and then he was thrown in head first into the wall, and then fell on the floor. And then they dragged him out at the jail and put him in a wheelchair, and then he's like, I can't feel my legs, I can't, yeah, whatever. And they took him in. Well, he was paralyzed. And remember the body camera footage that circulated widely on social media, where police officers in New Haven, Connecticut appeared to disregard the severity of his injury. Officer Oscar Diaz, who was driving the van, stopped to check on Cox, who was arrested after reports of a man threatening a woman with a handgun at a block party, according to investigators. Cox called repeatedly for help and said he could not move, and Diaz requested an ambulance. But he did not wait for the ambulance to arrive. He drove on to the detention center as Cox lay crumpled in the van floor. And when he got there, several officers dragged him into a wheelchair and then to a holding cell, remember? As Cox continued to complain he could not move or feel his body. One officer can be heard saying he's perfectly fine as he lay on the cell floor. Well, he wasn't perfectly fine. He's paralyzed below the neck. And now, because they found out he suffered a cervical spine injury, and he's permanently paralyzed below the neck, according to medical records later obtained by investigators. Now, the incident prompted a lawsuit, a Connecticut State Police investigation, and a reckoning in the city of New Haven and its police department. Several officers now will face criminal charges as well. 5 New Haven, Connecticut police officers, including Diaz, were arrested on Monday and charged with reckless endangerment and cruelty to persons, both misdemeanors, over their involvement in the incident. And that's according to the announcement by New Haven State Attorney John Doyle Jr. Now, Attorney Ben Crump said, while today's news that these officers will face some accountability is an important first step towards justice for Randy, we know there is more work to be done on his behalf. He was speaking at the New Haven City Hall. He's on the Cox family legal team. It is unclear whether the 5 officers, Diaz, Jocelyn Lavendier, Ronald Presley, Luis Rivera, or Betsy Segui, have retained lawyers in their criminal case. Attorneys representing Diaz, Lavendier, Segui, and Rivera in the separate lawsuit did not respond to requests for comment. In a news conference Monday afternoon, New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson said he respected the decision of the state attorney. He said, you can make mistakes, but you cannot treat people poorly, period. You cannot treat people the way Mr. Cox was treated. Regina Rush Kittle, the acting police chief at the time of Cox's arrest, told reporters he was being uncooperative and was placed in the back of a van to be taken a short distance to a detention center. Said the police van did not have seat belts. So instead of saying, oh my God, is this guy okay? How did he get injured? She says, well, he was being uncooperative. Because that's how the police departments are. That's how the sheriff's departments are. They always have to justify something at the first. Well, hey, it's your fault. Even though the cops messed up, even though law enforcement did the wrong thing, they go, well, but if you hadn't have been recording us, if you hadn't had your camera out there, we wouldn't have got upset because we had kept having to look back at your camera. That's what they say, right? When you come up to record them. Now you're taking our attention away. No, I'm not. I'm standing here like this with a camera. Is that telephone pole taking your attention away? Well, it's an inanimate object. Not that car driving by. I'm sorry, I digress. But that just pisses me off when she says that. Well, he was being uncooperative. They always try to justify their mistakes. But when it comes out in the news, and now they're charging these 5 cops, The actual police chief, Carl Jacobson, goes, "Oh, you can't treat people that way, period." Did he feel that way before it was in the news? I don't know. But they're saying it kind of resonates from the Freddie Gray incident, 2015. He died suffering a neck injury in the back of a Baltimore police van. So here we've got, pretty much another Freddie Gray incident, only Cox survived. And now 5 officers are going to be danced through the dog and pony show to make us go, yay, as they get 7 years and do 3.